Hi, and welcome to Bella's Vistas. Mary, Bella, and I have been traveling North America in search of good times and great photographs. Why not follow along on our adventures? Please like and subscribe. Just off the ferry in North Sydney, we were lucky enough to capture this beautiful sunset. The next night we went down to the Hopewell Rocks to photograph the stars. We met a couple of other people there doing the very same thing. It was wonderful to see the Milky Way behind the Hopewell Rocks. It's very long exposures, 10, 15, 20-second exposures. I went back in the morning for the sunrise to watch the sun come up over the rocks. I'd never seen that before, and it was unbelievable to see these rocks with the sun rising and the wonderful light. The sun played on the rocks, lighting up parts, some places in shadow, some places brighter. The sky was unbelievably beautiful. This is the sun coming up right between some of the Hopewell Rocks. Some of them look like mushrooms. There's one that looks like an owl. This is looking exactly where the sun was coming up. Further down the beach, there's some mushroom rocks. I think they're just gorgeous. There's the one that I think looks like an owl or a bear looking at me. Now we're off on the road on a road trip to St. Martin's Caves. It's a great drive, beautiful skies. Coming up, we can see the caves in the background now. We're driving along the beach. Lots of people there. I've never seen it this busy. There are the caves. Beautiful light on the caves. I stopped at the side of the road and made several exposures. Here I am just walking along the beach, getting a few shots of the caves. I was using a long lens to zoom in on the caves a bit. Photographed these several times. I think this is some of the best times we've had there. Beautiful fireweed in the foreground and the rocks and sunlight behind. This is the Cape and Rage Lighthouse. Brian and I went down there to see if we could get the Milky Way behind the lighthouse. We had some really serious issues with the light from the lighthouse. I finally wound up putting the lens cap over the lens for part of the exposures. Now we're off to St. George to see the mill. I photographed this mill many times over the years, and I really believe that we had our best success there ever. These are the fishing sheds in Grand Manan. Some of them are like smoke houses that were used to smoke fish, smoke herring and that. When I was there the last time, we were able to buy lots of things like that in the store. I really don't think they're making them there anymore. I didn't see any evidence of things like that happening. You used to be able to see, you'd see smoke coming out of the tops of these buildings. Here's a sign for the beach. Different rooftops and chimneys. Some of the other buildings. It's sort of been restored. And here's some more of the old fishing sheds and some of the paraphernalia from fishing. Some of the floats and boat bumpers and things. Here's one of my favorite seagulls. These are the ends of the lobster traps that they used to use. I think the fishing is a lot more commercialized now, and this is one of the lighthouses on Grand Manan Island. There's two lighthouses there. And we got the sun coming down. Beautiful night. That was Swallowtail Lighthouse. Now here we are at night. There's a meteor going by. There's the Milky Way. Milky Way behind some of the trees. I'm really starting to be taken with astrophotography. Well, we're driving along in Grand Manan. We're headed for the ferry. We've had a couple great days here. It's been good. Well, we're saying goodbye to Grand Manan Island. I found this ferry to be pretty amazing. Well, here we are on the dock on Deer Island. It's a small island. The first ferry to get here was free. There's Bella's country store and gifts. We had a little ice cream there. Bella was happy to see her store was doing well. Now we're waiting for the ferry to take us across to Campobello Island. We're going home by way of Maine. So we're going to go through the states. This ferry is almost like it's a barge where you actually drive onto the barge, and then there's an arm on the boat that turns the barge around when you're partway across, and then that lets you off on the other side, and you just land right on the beach. Just watch this landing craft sort of deal coming down on the front. Just roar up on the beach, the front drops down, and you drive off. These ferries, everybody stays in their cars and just with your foot on the gas, ready to get underway. It's coming in for a landing here. See the cars driving off onto the beach? There you go, we're gonna land right on the beach. Look at that. Right on the beach, right on the sand. And away we go. Zoom. Now this is us, we're going across. We got a really good spot, first on the ferry. Ferryman was complimenting me on the condition of my vehicle. It's a 1995 Ford E150 coach. It's comfortable enough. Gets reasonably good gas mileage. Here the guys are getting ready to let the front of the boat down. It's a ramp. And you see we're just driving right up onto the beach here. Now this is Campobello Island. Just like a landing craft. Here we come in, drop the ramp on the beach, and away we go. This is Campobello Island. This was Roosevelt's summer home. Here's the lighthouse on Campobello Island. There's a lot of lighthouses. Well, there's a lot of coast, so you need a lot of lighthouses because there's a lot of rocks. These are the sunsets on Campobello Island. Now, the nice thing about living in a motorhome or coach is you can stop at the sunset, find a nice place, watch the sun go down, and now you don't have to drive while you're half asleep. You can just sleep right there, and in the morning you wake up. In the morning you wake up to a beautiful sunrise. There's the sunrise. Look at that sky. Here's the sunrise on Campobello Island. It starts coming up.